Um, I know we have a reputation here in Canada of being super nice people. And overall, we really are. We're that person who lets you go ahead at the stop sign. We're that person who holds the door open for people. We are those people. We really, really are. But we're about to do something here in Ontario that is what they're saying life and death. And they're relying on us being nice. So we are, as you know, still way, way behind in the vaccine rollout. The United States is around 28 people per 100. We're not even at 7 yet here in Canada. So we're still way, way down the list. And here in Ontario, they decided that they're going to go by the honor system. Because there's a whole list of people who are going to get priority when it comes to getting the vaccine shots. Now, a lot of people totally agree with some of these. If you're in an old age home, if you're a healthcare worker, if you're someone on the front line in the hospitals, all that sort of things. Of course, yeah, we should be protecting those people. We should be protecting our most vulnerable people, right? That's what we should be doing. But there's all these other lists that are coming up and being prepared. For instance, if you work in a grocery store, you will be able to be one of the higher priorities. The teachers' unions are saying teachers should all be vaccinated ahead of the general populace. Construction workers are saying, hey, we got to get our people because they're out and they're working in people's homes and things. Repairmen, delivery people, bus drivers, you name it. There's a whole list of people that deal with the public, right? If you're going by that, well, you know what? People who work in a movie theater, people who work in a factory, people who work, there's a whole list that you can put on that list that would go before the regular person who, lost their job and is stuck at home and everything. But here's the issue that's going to be coming up. And they decided to do the honor system. So for one of the things is, let's just say this. If you live in Canada and you have an Indigenous background, you are going to be able to get a vaccine, no matter what your age is. As long as you're over the age of 18, you will be able to get a vaccine. You could be 25 years old, perfectly healthy, living in downtown Ottawa, and you can get the vaccine. And here's the kicker. They're not allowed to ask you if it's true or not. So basically, anybody who goes up can say, oh yeah, I'm Indigenous, I'm part of this association. They're not allowed to ask for proof. They're not allowed to ask for a card. They're not allowed to ask for anything like that. If they start saying hospital workers, and you go up and you say, yeah, I work at the Montfort Hospital, I'm in the intensive care unit, section G7. They're not allowed to ask you for proof. They're not allowed to ask you for a letter to say where you work or anything like that. So you can just call, make an appointment, and go. And they're saying, don't worry, people are usually honest. And yes, most people are honest people. Absolutely. Will I jump the line? No. And I have health conditions, but I'm going to wait my turn. I will not do that. But there are a lot of people out there. There's two ways you can go. There's a lot of people out there who have been instilled with so much fear about possibly catching the virus that they are terrified to leave their house. And I mean terrified to leave their house. I know them personally. They will not leave the house. They will not send their kids out of their house to school. They will not do groceries. They call, they have them delivered, they have them dropped at the door, and they wash every single piece of thing that walks into that house. And they have no visitors, no friends allowed in their house. They are terrified. And they have no underlying conditions and are pretty healthy. They're just, everything you hear here is, you're gonna, if you catch this, that's it, guys, that's it. And so they're terrified. They listen to the news, they listen to the stuff that's out there, and they're just terrified. So yes, if they possibly could have a chance to get that vaccine faster than another person by just saying, oh yeah, I work there, or yes, I have this background, or anything like that, they are very, very tempted and very likely to probably do that. So there's that person. And then there's the people who are just tired of this now. We are tired of the lockdowns. We are tired of being told every single day. We are tired of wearing the masks. We are tired of not having anything to do, not allowed to go anywhere. Even our shows on TV are showing us people wearing masks. We cannot escape it. And people just want to get out and get away and say, you know what, the fastest way to do that is if I get vaccinated, maybe I won't have to do all these other things like wear a mask and all things like that. And so if they get a chance, they're going to squeeze in wherever they can as well. And don't think that, that won't happen, because just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean that you can do all those things. But then you have to turn around, because the CDC just did a release a couple days ago about what you're allowed to do when you get fully vaccinated, which means both shots if you're getting a dosage with 2, or the 1 shot if you're getting the Johnson & Johnson, I believe it is. 2 weeks after that time, you are considered fully vaccinated. At that point, you're allowed at indoor events with other people who have been vaccinated. And you don't have to social distance, and you don't have to wear a mask. You're allowed to have company over. You're allowed to go and visit them if they've been vaccinated. You're allowed to go and visit them even if they haven't been vaccinated, if they have no underlying conditions. Also, if you come into contact with somebody who has tested positive for COVID, you do not have to self-quarantine or isolate unless you start to show symptoms. So if you're asymptomatic, you still don't have to quarantine. So there's a lot of benefits to getting that vaccine if you just want to get back to a normal life. And, it's going to be more difficult here in Canada because our vaccine rollout is going much slower, and we're doing things completely different than, say, you are in the United States. And I believe the UK is doing it the same way we are. They are looking at doing like a 4-month thing. So you get your first shot, and then they wait 4 months, and you get your second shot. In the United States, you're sticking to that 28-day schedule that you were originally supposed to do. Even Pfizer has come out and said, look, we say it's 28 days. If you go against that, that's on you. That has nothing to do with us. But because we are so poorly rolling out the vaccines here in Canada, so far behind most of the rest of the world, the civilized world, as you would call it, the G7 is a better way to say it, like the industrial world, that they're looking for ways to stretch the doses that we do have so they can say that they're covering as many people as possible. Whether it's the right thing, the wrong thing, we don't know because it's brand new, right? It's all brand new to us. But if we had tons of vaccines right now, like you guys do in the United States, we could be doing it properly at 28 days and wouldn't even have to consider it. But we don't. We're way, way behind. We're going by the honor system. What? Like, you have to register to go and get your shot. You just can't show up at a site. right? You have to register, get an appointment time, and you go. Because if it was just show up and get your shot, you would have 10,000 people lined up in a line to try and get into some of these places, right? So you have to make an appointment. Why is there no checks and balances there saying, you say you're a healthcare worker, okay, bring your hospital ID card when you come for your vaccination. Pretty easy to do. If you're an Indigenous person here in Canada, you have a card because you get reduced taxes, and you have other things that by treaty that you're allowed to have. So they have cards. Why not just ask for them? Show wherever you work, show it to me. You have an underlying condition. Great. We'll check your hospital record. We can look it up right here on the computer because the hospitals are the ones giving out the vaccine. Yes, you do. Look. Oh yeah, you've had cancer treatment, you had surgery. Okay, here's your appointment time. It could be that quick and that fast. But no, we can't be bothered with details here in Canada. Details are for losers. And we are gonna go by the honor system because we all know everyone will follow the rules.